I mentioned there are two universes, the human way or human world and nature's world or nature's world. Today is Sunday, peaceful. I was out playing pickleball, doubles game, and I sweated and had a good time. There one person who didn't look so happy, and I could kind of read his mind because he wasn't doing well. To me, just one ball at a time, accept whatever happens as it is. So the point of this video is about how to live in this world, the human world, but not to lose the nature's way or the home base where we came from. I mentioned already about two universes, but this is a way I want to characterize the dynamic situation of how we live in this world, the human world, as well as the other world, the nature's way. So the case of the pickleball was to stay in my inner world, the home base, without losing it. So we need to be alert and be aware of what's going on. And there's no self or no mind to be distracted by some behavior of a person or that affect me to be away from the home base. To be able to do that, we need to establish, in my way of looking at the situation, the home base. And if we can do that, we can maintain calm and quiet mind, samadhi, as the home base. There's nothing in there to play with the mind. And I use the example of the waves and ocean. The waves are the stuff in the mind. Your mind moves this way and that way. That person is unhappy, but what can I do? Accept what it is. And when you accept everything, your mind is calm, as if you are at the center of the ocean, home base. So we need to cultivate that home base, samadhi. And I mentioned no self, no mind. The notion of the nothingness may sound weird, but that to me connects to the transparency that I have when I'm melting into the nature. In other words, I'm in the middle of the ocean. What's in the middle of the ocean is the affirmation of the way of the universe. In the mind, we are off from the way of the universe because we use the logic word to figure out what to do, what's the aim, what happens. But as soon as we do that too much, we are off from the home base. And if we are off from the home base, it's like a tree without the root. Because at the root is where the energy is found, like a fountain of energy coming out. That's the law of the universe beyond anything. It's absolute state of how the universe is functioning. We are just the beneficiary of it, so there's a sense of appreciation as it is, because we are alive as a miracle. Sense of appreciation comes naturally off from our using our mind, because using the mind can be energy consuming, thinking this and that, to prepare into the future or looking at the past and what to do. So if you let go all of that, that's the meditation. Be in the state of now, pure awareness, emptiness. But within that emptiness, we see everything happening, including our existence of who we are at this moment. So we can confirm that's the home base if we can appreciate it. And as Osono in Myokonin says, if you can say hi or yes in English to everything, no questions asked, because that's how the universe is manifesting, then you are transparent, nothing, no mind, but pure awareness to see and be with the law of the universe. As a result, there's affirmation, and I think that was Eckhart who said, if you can say thank you to end your life, that's quite an accomplishment. And the years of Eckhart, to me, correspond to the years of Osono. Eckhart is well known. Osono is just like a peasant, illiterate, but she got the idea from Shin Buddhism to rely on Amida Buddha. And what I mean by her relying on Amida Buddha correspond to the word I use, that thy will be done. That's the will of the universe, manifesting everywhere. Do you sense that? Not intellectually, but of course you can do it intellectually. Otherwise, there's no other explanation why we are here, so it's just a miracle. But we can also, even physically or physiologically, understand by knowing how the blood circulates, respond to whatever the situation there is. And there's appreciation of the fact that we are alive. So, two universes, human way, but you can go into the nature's way to relate to the law of the universe. Thy will be done, God or Amida's way. And if you let go of yourself, which is refuge into Amida Buddha, or God, whatever the term, or the law of the universe, and depend on, because that's how we came to this point of being alive, to appreciate. So mind can play its own game, forgetting the other side of the universe, which is prevailing everywhere. But because of the ego and caught up mind, how should I hit this ball? What score? It's too sweaty, I don't like this playing here. Then we are caught up in there. One point I can relate to that discussion in the mind from this example, the pickleball this morning, is the saying from Saichi. Although he is well into this home base, Amida's way, and appreciative, he also said in one of his poems, he said there are two devils in the house. and I laugh at it, but that's real. In the human way, in our mind, we do stupid things, and we behave like a devil or sinner. But in his case, he gets sucked up into this Amida's way, because he let go of himself for the vote of Amida to save him, although he can see him a devil, one of those two. The other one is his wife. He sees that maybe they had an argument or something, but he can relate back to the source of where he is. So in that case, it's just a wave, and the wave settles when he realizes jumping off from human way to the Amida's way or nature's way. There's understanding, clarity, the wisdom, even compassion, so that he can help himself and his wife, so that the repentance may turn into the joy or bliss. And the bliss comes from being connected to the root of where he is, who he is. That's the ocean, that's the home base, that's the nature's way, or law of nature prevailing. That's the core of who we are. I'm just sharing this picture to look at the situation using few of those examples, but relate to that, hopefully, to navigate our life well, because it's a dynamic process of caught up in this human way or confirming the nature's way or appreciating it, or you get lost because you get caught up in another situation. But then you can come back to Sonomama as it is in Japanese, Sonomama. Accept that, affirm that, and then you find the peace. So can we live in such a dynamic way? To me, yes, it's feasible. Will it be beneficial if we can do that? My answer is yes. So this video is just to characterize the nature, possibly, how we may navigate our life. I think to know the home base, not intellectually, but with our subjective experience. I mentioned about being the now, be alert, no self, nothingness, awareness, no mind, as it is, affirmation, many words, just the words, but pointing a very simple state of being. And we may need to check, and there are many ways to check. Maybe we can talk about it in another video, but for now, let's see if we can digest the view of how we may navigate our life for our own sake and for others and for all of us to appreciate and benefit from. Thank you.